As Julia said, my name's Michael. I'm here representing CPA Manitoba, Business Development Officer with them. And it's good to see all of you out here at Rotary in the accounting presentation today. Just to get a quick straw poll here, how many of you have an interest in accounting? You know, it's something that you might want to do. You're looking at your options, you're getting ideas for careers. Okay, couple of hands. Business, anybody in business in general still thinking about it? Okay, good. Well, we got some good representation, you know, for those of you who didn't raise your hand. We are gonna change your mind today, and that'll be a good thing. So right now I'm gonna talk a bit about Susan, a very accomplished CA here, and she's gonna talk to you guys about accounting, and I'll just go through her introduction here. So Susan Deloe is the Vice President of Recruitment of A&F NMEC Recruitment. Susan is a chartered accountant and brings over 20 years of service to the accounting and finance community, and she's spent many years teaching, training, and mentoring accounting professionals. Prior to moving full-time into the recruitment and placement of accounting and finance professionals, Susan was a senior tax manager with a Big Four public accounting firm, where she was She was a senior tax manager with a Big Four public accounting firm where she was responsible for the success of their external recruitment function, In addition, Susan has held senior positions with the CA School of Business, or CASB, such as Director of Learning and Director of Learning Center projects. Susan was with the CASB at its inception in 2000, delivering one of its first online module offerings. She worked in many areas of CASB's learning group and was responsible for all areas of program design and development, including curriculum design, course development, online, face-to-face, and uniform final evaluation prep facilitation, review center supervision, core modules, and UFI prep coordination, and development and review of assessment case and multiple choice questions. Susan has also been an active volunteer and board member for several Winnipeg not-for-profit organizations, and currently she's a member of the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority Audit Committee. So I'd like to welcome Susan Deloe to the stand here.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's great to have you out here. I didn't see too many hands go up when the question was asked as to whether or not you're interested in pursuing a career in accounting or business. So I definitely have my work cut out for me today, but hopefully I can give you a really good idea of what an accountant does, or what someone who majors in business at one of the universities or pursues a career in business at one of the universities. So first off, let's see if I can do this right. Maybe not. Perhaps not. Sorry, guys. So first off, what is accounting? And thank you so much for moving forward. Yesterday we had a really full house, people at the back, and I want to make this as fun as I can. What is accounting? Any ideas? And I will not leave the question until I get some people volunteering and getting active. Any ideas? What is accounting? Or what do accountants do?
Keep financial records.
Sorry, this person first?
Keep financial records.
Keep financial records. Excellent. Can I get you to stand up? So maintain financial records. Every business has to maintain their financial records. Their expenses, their revenue, their sales, any assets they buy. If they buy a building, records have to be kept and maintained. Sorry, you were going to volunteer something? What does an accountant do, or what is accounting? Business activities. Okay, can I get you to stand, please? No? Okay, I'll let you sit. Actually, then, can I get you to stand as representative of that response? Thank you. Somebody else who'd like to volunteer. What is accounting, or what do accountants do? What else? Any ideas? Or who would like to name a business that probably involves an accountant in some way? Any business. Anybody want to volunteer? A teacher. Let's get a teacher to volunteer.
Government.
The government. Could you please stand? Who else? What does an accountant do? What businesses use accountants? Or what is accounting? Are you going to say something? Winnipeg Free Press, can I get you to stand? Come on, I'll make it fun. Anybody here just came in? We're asking, what do accountants do? What is accounting? Or what businesses use accountants? Any ideas? Hey, excellent. Stand? Great. Somebody else from this part of the room, nobody's saying anything. Any ideas? What do accountants do? Work in a bank? Great. Can you stand up? Something else. Who would like to volunteer? What is accounting? No ideas? No? I'll hopefully help you a bit. How about, has anybody in the room heard about tax returns with the government? Okay. Who's heard about filing a personal tax return? Okay, stand up if you've heard of that before. Okay. Corporate tax return. Every business has to file a corporate tax return. Not-for-profit entities have to file a charity or a not-for-profit tax return with the government. Every business, in some way or another, touches base with an accountant. Now, how many of you think that accountants really are just focused in on their numbers, their spreadsheets, and their pencils and their calculator? It's much, much more than that, okay? I was on a trip down south once, and we were on a boat, and everybody was trying to guess what everybody else's profession was. And when I told them that I'm a chartered accountant, and I was working with the one of the big four CA firms at the time, they didn't believe it because I actually had people skills. I could talk to people, I could communicate. And they're like, Susan, no way, you must just be sitting there all day with your pencil and your calculator and just working with the numbers. Much, much more. For accountants, the critical skill is to be able to communicate, to be able to engage, to be able to explain, to be able to interpret, to be able to communicate either written or speaking face-to-face with a client, on the phone, through email. Even in a presentation, to be able to communicate with your audience. If I put you guys through enough pain and agony, eventually I'd have every one of you standing up talking about what accountants do or who accountants are. But my point is, accountants do a variety of things. You might focus on tax. I specialized in tax. So I was doing tax returns for individuals, for corporations, not-for-profit entities. I was also doing tax planning, legitimate ways of helping companies or individuals minimize their taxes on an annual basis. Estate planning, when businesses are transferring over. How could the business do that in a tax-effective way? Tax-effective meaning minimize taxes, save money, more money goes into the pockets of the owner. So I specialize in tax. You can also specialize in auditing. Every corporate account needs, if you're a publicly reported entity like MTS or New Flyer or Air Canada or Great West Life, you need to have your financial statements audited. So the auditors come in, they look at the balance sheet and the income statement to make sure that they're fairly presented. Those who are standing, you can actually sit down now. Thanks. So you can specialize in auditing. Within auditing, you can specialize in forensic auditing. So in other words, a business maybe has had some embezzlement or something has happened. So a forensic auditor comes in and has to retrace and figure out what went wrong. You can specialize in internal controls. You become an internal control consultant, working with businesses to design controls to safeguard or to protect the company's assets. Okay, you could also become a business valuator. A lot of businesses are into making acquisitions of other companies. So as a business valuator, you would help your client determine the value of a business, a potential acquisition, so they know how much to pay. So the number of specialties within accounting is definitely huge, bigger than everybody in this room. I specialized in one area of tax, and there's about 6 different specialty areas. Let's see if this works. Nope. There we go. Whoops. So what roles do accountants play? You can become a tax professional. You can become an auditor. Multiple streams within tax, within auditing. You can become a forensics auditor. You become a business valuator. You can become an IT specialist. So you first get your CPA designation and then specialized within information systems and work with different entities. You can become a business consultant. And there's multiple branches within that. You could move into HR afterwards. I specialized in tax. I then was doing a lot in terms of teaching and designing the program for CAs. I've since specialized in recruiting, working with people, helping them find their path within the accounting profession. So what is a professional accountant? We talked about what accounting is, what are some of the things accountants do. But what is a professional accountant? What does that mean? A professional. Any ideas in the room? How many of you have seen the commercial that the CPAs have put out where we ride on a helicopter and then we're out in the field with our Blackberries? Nobody's seen it? How many of you seen it? Raise your hand if you've seen it. It's pretty cool. My kids, when that commercial comes on, they always look at me and they say, "Have you been in a helicopter yet? Have you been out on a field?" I've done some really, really cool inventory audits. The car audits are very, very fun, where you go to a car dealership and you get to look at the cars and count the cars. But I've never been in a helicopter yet. But the point of that commercial is what? What do you think the point of that commercial is? Any ideas? I know you're moving your hair, but do you have an idea? Yeah, I thought it's you.
I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. Any ideas? Why would they be showing a CPA off on a helicopter, then off in a field? Oh, listen to the words next time you see that commercial. But the point of the commercial is to show you that CPAs do all sorts of things. Okay, the opportunities are endless. It is an exciting career, and you can take it to where you want. But what is a professional accountant? Think of it in terms of, it almost means that you are certified to act as an accountant. You are accredited. Yes?
Somebody who had the schooling for it and who passed the, I know this stuff in French, the corporation final exam, something
That's
like
exactly, the uniform final evaluation, that's exactly right. So you are certified, you have that stamp of approval that you've gone through the courses, you've successfully passed them, you've completed the training that's required, so it's almost like you are now 007 of the accountants. Okay, you've got that stamp. You can go out there, hang up your shingle, and do your thing, whatever area in which you want to specialize. So what's happened is the CGAs, the CMAs, and the CAs, the 3 accounting bodies in Canada, have merged. And we're becoming what's called the Chartered Professional Accountants. Different than what's in the US. US also has CPA, but their acronym stands for Certified Public Accountant. In Canada, we're CPAs, but we're Chartered Professional Accountants. And these 3 bodies have merged in terms of we now will deliver a uniform education program. And education goes hand in hand with experience. The best way to learn is to learn by doing. So while you're in courses in the CPA program, you're also working. So we've got this uniform program, plus we're a unified accounting body. When CAs or CGAs or CMAs went off into international boundaries or borders, and we're talking about the different accounting designations in Canada, well, the CAs, there's 4 different education bodies. There was Western Canada, there was Ontario, there was Quebec, there was Atlantic. Plus on top of that, you had the CGA program or the CMA program. But now what's happened is the 3 accounting bodies have united. So they'll have a much stronger representation when there's talks internationally. This is critical because a significant number of the businesses now operate internationally. So it's a much more unified, stronger body. It will have a stronger presence, which is important for Canada. So a professional accountant, you're accredited. You've got that stamp of approval. You're like the 007 of the accounting world. So becoming an accountant is more than just numbers, pencil, and paper. There are some accountants who really do a lot of solo work, who might just do tax returns, but you still have to face your clients and explain the results of their tax return. Okay, so being able to do the numbers, being able to be just a technician just isn't enough. You want to be able to communicate. You want to be able to see the bigger picture, the strategy. So accountants cost every business, every individual, at some point or another, someone is going to touch base with an accountant. And that might be a little scary for some people. So our accounting profession has united. We are now the CPAs, Chartered Professional Accountants. So how do you become a pro? Okay, how do you become a CPA? So your first task, you graduate from high school. Obviously that's mission critical for all of you. And maybe in high school you might take a business course, and a business admin course. Perhaps you've got an opportunity to take an accounting course. Just recognize it's at an intro level. So it's not everything about accounting, it's just trying to give you some exposure. You then have to earn your undergrad degree. A lot of people who enter the CPA program get their undergrad degree in business or management at, say, U of M or U of W. The reason why it might be advantageous to get that business degree at one of the universities as opposed to a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science is it exempts you from some of the courses when you enter the CPA program. Not to say that it doesn't help to have a degree in science or arts and then perhaps get your business degree. I actually first, when I went into university, I got my BSc. I majored in biology. And then I decided, you know what? Becoming a CA would be pretty cool, so I went back and I did a BCom honors. And that's helped me in my career. I've got a lot of clients who are in the science field. When I first went into tax, I specialized in research and development. And all those lab reports that I used to have to write came in handy, working with clients on their research and development reports to submit to CRA. So once you have that 4-year degree, you can then apply to become a student in the CPA program. But while you're in the CPA program, you're also working. So you could be working in public accounting, working for one of the firms in the city. Big firm, medium firm, little firm, lots of firms in Winnipeg. We're very, very well represented here. Or you could work at one of the approved training offices, such as Great West Life, Investors, Air Canada, taking a different path. Or you could go outside of that through an expanded experience opportunity, in which case you might move from employer to employer, picking up the necessary skills that you need to qualify to become a CPA. But the point is that while you're in the CPA program, while you're studying for those courses, you're also working. So it's experience and education. And while you go through the modules in the CPA program, your career is probably mirroring what you're seeing at work. Learning by doing. So you're not just sitting in a class all the time, you get to do some of the fun stuff as well, and you get paid. So any ideas what a starting CA student could expect for a salary? And let's say these are students starting September 2014. The recruiting for CPA students always begins the year before they start. Any ideas? Just throw a number out there, no pressure. Someone from here. Starting CPA student. $12 or $13 an hour? Probably more than that. Let's talk in terms of thousands. Not per hour though. Yes? $15,000? I'm happy to say it's higher than that. Next guess. Sorry? 25? Let's go up. Oh, 50? Oh, sorry. Less than 50. Less than Very close, very close. This year, students starting in September 2014 are starting at about 38 to 39,000 total. But on top of that, I'm happy to say the employer will pay for your courses. Courses are very expensive, at around $1,000 a module. And you have to take 5 modules. Then you take what's called the Uniform Evaluation Prep module, and that module prepares you for that final exam so that you can be 007 of the accountants. So you've got to think in terms of you being paid to train. Just like lawyers, you're articling somewhere, you're working somewhere, you are getting paid, but you're also training at the same time. Salaries thereafter go up once you pass your uniform final evaluation. Once you're 007, your salary can move up quite substantially. And CPAs who have been around for say 10 to 30 years can make anywhere from $100,000 a year to $500,000 a year, depending on how they've specialized. Obviously those in the $500,000 bucket are fewer than those in the $100,000 and $150,000 bucket. Any questions? Oops, sorry. Any questions so far? Questions? No? So if you're thinking of pursuing a career in accounting, how many of you know accountants? Awesome. I strongly encourage you, and this was something I did. I talked to friends or the dads of friends who were chartered accountants to find out, okay, what's really involved? I spent a day with them or half a day with them to see really what they were doing. And there's a huge variety of things that a CPA can do. So it's great if you could get some exposure to a variety of CPAs, find out what they do, maybe spend some time with them to see if it's something of interest to you. Obviously, if it's something of interest, you're that much more motivated to pursue, to work really hard to become successful. If you have the opportunity to take a course in school, a business admin course or an accounting course, I would encourage you to do that. Don't judge the entire CPA profession by that one course, but I would encourage you to do that as well. So some of the things you should consider: take a business course or admin course. If you have an opportunity to study finances or to spend time with those who are in the accounting or the finance profession, I think it'd be a great idea to do that, to reach out to others. People love to share stories about their career with you. So don't be afraid to do that. And how strong you are in math won't make or break you, but you have to like to work with numbers to some extent to be able to interpret them. Okay, so do some research as well. There's tons of information on the internet, and I know how savvy all of you are on that. Are there any questions? No? No questions? A lot of people, please feel free to come up with questions at the end. But thank you very much. It was great working with all of you in this setting. I really appreciate it.